Welcome to Lizards of the Toast. And we're going to take a look at this Wicked Stompin' Mono Green Devotion deck here. And this is one of Ashley's. And it's kind of gotten rather souped up. And I haven't played it on the channel in a while. So if this gives you any indication, you're going to be seeing it played on the channel very quickly. Or very soon. It won't be played very quickly. It'll be played smartly at a normal pace. All right, so let's get into this. Look at that giant creature base there. Of course, there's some sideboarding options, but that's pretty big. We have the Hex Drinker. Drinking Hexes from Fed Hex, I believe. Level up 1. So it comes in for 1 green as a 2/1. That's pretty good in and of itself. If you level it up to level 3, it gets protection from instants, and it's a 4/4. That's pretty good value. And it's a good mana sink for this deck. So a lot of times in the past, 4 of these would be running these kind of mono green shells, but those days are behind us now, friends. So +8, protection from everything, and it's a big annoying 6/6. So we have 1, 2 of those. Just 2. And here we have Experiment 1 with a bulb. So you can remove 2 1/1 counters from Experiment 1 and regenerate Experiment 1. So if on turn 1 we play an Experiment 1, followed by this will get a 1/1 counter on it for Evolve. And actually with Experiment 1, whenever a creature enters or leaves the battlefield, if it had greater toughness or power, Experiment 1 gets a +1/+1. But the retro frame doesn't say that. We have just 3 of those because 4 is too many. Now, Fanatic of Rhonas. This is a very great 2-drop. So you tap it, you add 1 green. Ferocious. Tap, add 4 green mana. Activate only if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. And we will be controlling many great creatures with power greater than that. So we can eternalize this. For 2 and 2 green, exile this card. From your graveyard, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie snake druid with no mana cost. Eternalize only as a sorcery. So, very cool. And that kind of mana there is really going to help us empty some big nasty creatures out of our hand. So we have 2 of those. And like I said, that should not be very hard for us to get to. So we have Werewolf Pack Leader. This is in my belief, one of the most underrated cards in green. It's 2 mana, it's a 3/3. Wolves are better than bears, my friends. Certainly. So it has pack tactics. Whenever Werewolf Pack Leader attacks, if you attacked with creatures with total power 3 or greater this combat, draw a card. That's just 2 of those. Just 2. 3 and a green until end of turn. Werewolf Pack Leader has base power and toughness 5/3, gains trample, and isn't a human. Interesting stuff. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, just because we like that so much. So those, again, I just love that card. I think the pack tactics thing is just great, especially in this deck. So here is our other 2-drop. We have Strangleroot Geist. It has haste. It has Undying. Oh, is that annoying? It sure is. It's a 2/1. Undying, of course. If it had no 1/1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control, the 1/1 counter on it. I don't even think this sees a lot of play in Yawgmoth anymore. Last time I looked at some Yawgmoth deck lists, I played against Yawgmoth. I said, hey, where's the Geist? And he's like, I don't run the Geist. I was like, okay. I like the Geist. Geists of the Hanged often haunt the tree on which they died. Many people do not know that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that haste is very powerful in green, especially when we can hit this with something to make it even bigger. We have the Old Growth Troll. And he definitely does have some old growths on him there. Those somebody should probably take a look at that, like an arborist or something. His trample, it's a 4/4. When the Old Growth Troll dies, if it was a creature, return it to the battlefield. It's an aura enchantment with enchant forest you control. Enchanted forest has tap, add 2 green and 1. Tap, sacrifice this land, create a tapped 4/4 green troll warrior creature token with trample. So basically, it enchants a land and then creates itself. So it's 3 mana 4/4. So think how that will interact with our Champion of Rhonas there, or Fanatic of Rhonas. Yes, Fanatic of Rhonas. I really like that artwork. Looks very old school. Very cool. In any case, yes, this will, because we can get 3 mana so quickly, I don't see a problem with getting this out quick enough to make that very useful. Oh, excuse me. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 old growth trolls. Now here's an interesting addition to the deck. We have Polukranos Reborn. Legendary creature, Hydra. It's a 4/5 for 3. It's a 4/5 for 3. It has reach. It's a 4/5 for 3. And in case you didn't hear me, it's a 4/5 for 3. And for 6, which is not a lot to get to with this deck, in 1 white Phyrexian, which will just pay the 2 life because there's nothing we're doing with this deck paying life. You can transform it into Polukranos Engine of Ruin, which is a Phyrexian Hydra. It's a 6/6 with reach and lifelink, so that will save us from trouble. So whenever Polukranos Engine of Ruin or another non-token Hydra you control dies, create a 3/3 green and white Hydra creature token with reach, and a 3/3 green and white Phyrexian Hydra creature token with lifelink. So that is brutal. And it is, of course, a legendary creature. So there is only 2 of those. So I think 2 of those is pretty good. So that's the 3-drop, and then it's a 5/4. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. It's the classic green staple Steel Leaf Champion. We have 4 of those. And for our 4-drop, we have the Questing Beast. It's a 4-drop. It is a 4/4. It has Vigilance, Death Touch, and Haste. Haste. Very good. The beast cannot be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Combat damage that would be dealt by creatures you control cannot be prevented. Whenever Questing Beast deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to target planeswalker that player controls. Very relevant. Just 2 of those to kind of play with, where is it? Polukranos, where did you go, my friend? In any case, plays well with that. So there's our creature base. And I don't think, just in case, nope, no creatures in the sideboard. Very fine. All right. So we'll talk about our instance then. We have Aspect of Hydra. So target creature gets +X until end of turn, where X is your devotion to green. So let's just talk about green devotion for a second here. So let us say we got something like this. Okay. Even, hey, what the heck? Let's say, yeah, look at that. So Aspect of Hydra played on Polukranos, 8. So you're going to have a 12, what would that be? A 12/13? So that would be very advantageous. So we're running 3 Aspect of Hydras because we want these more so late game, I think, like post turn 2, at least turn 3, turn 4. 3 is good there. Now, this is very great in the deck. The kicker cost can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control this turn. If Vines of Vastwood was, kicked, that creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. So it's great to kick it, but it's also great to save a special piece that we may have. Like if we play a Rhonas or something and somebody tries to counter it, we can go ahead and save it. Or something else we don't want to go away. Get out of here, you Strangleroot Geists. Go haunt the tree from which you were hanged. Come on now. All right. Oh, yeah, and that's fun. I like that. That's a good version. Store Championship version there. Had that a long time. Okay. Vines of Vastwood. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. We have 1 Archdruid's Charm. It's an instant. It's 3 green. Choose 1. Search your library for a creature or land card. Reveal it. Put it onto the battlefield tapped if it's a land card. Otherwise, put it into your hand, then souffle. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Now, I've had Sheoldred get killed by this in just such a way. Exile target artifact or enchantment. The choices. Choices, my friend, are good. We have a Rancor, and Rancor is a great one for this deck. So enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+0 and has trample. When Rancor is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return Rancor to its owner's hand. It's a 1 green mana enchantment aura that returns to your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now here is the special card here. We have Utopia Sprawl. Enchant Forest. As Utopia Sprawl enters the battlefield, choose a color. We'll say green almost every time. Whenever Enchanted Forest is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 1 mana of the chosen color. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. So turn 1, tap and we play Utopia Sprawl. Turn 2, we play our land, right? We have 3 mana, so look what we can do. We can go ahead and do Polykranos. Turn 2. That's good. So that is what Utopia Sprawl allows us to do, my friends. Oh, very cool. All right. And we'll go through this cool mana base here. So not too extravagant of a mana base. We have 2 7th edition forests. We have a Midnight Hunt full art foil. We have a Grand Prix 2018. We have an Onslaught John Avon foil. We have an M21 foil. We have a... Oh, you guys know how I feel about that tree. It kind of makes me uncomfortable for some reason. I don't know. It looks like just very horrifying. We have another Onslaught. We have Odyssey. And look at that. New from the presses. We have this super cool Assassin's Creed. I've never even played the game Assassin's Creed. I'm a Dark Souls guy. You guys might not have known that. We have another Odyssey one here. This is kind of sweet. We have an invasion there with the tree forts. See them tree forts that look like little mushrooms on there? And look at that. We have an unstable forest. We have an... What one's that? I forgot. Unsanctioned, I think. And a Lair of the Hydra and Lair of the Hydra. So our mana base, I think 18, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Could have sworn we had 18 in there. But 17 is not a bad number because of the Utopia Sprawls. And this is definitely a deck where if you get too much mana, it's not good, I've noticed. So let's talk about the sideboard of this thing. All right, there we go. We got some troll tokens there. We got some Hydra stuff. We got some fun action. We got it all. So ram through. This is an important card because target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. If the creature you control has trample, excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. So we can make something big by a devotion by playing Aspect of Hydra. It's turn 4, let's say. We can use this to deal a big amount of damage to an opponent's creature that is troublesome. And if we give that trample, or if it has trample like a lot of our creatures do, that damage will also go through to that creature's controller, which is really good. So we're running 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. 4. And this one I've had for a long time. All right, and this card, I love this card. Pick your poison. 1 green. It's a sorcery. If it was an instant, it would not be a common. Each opponent sacrifices an artifact. Each opponent sacrifices an enchantment. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with flying, like Murktide. 1, 2, 3, 4, of course. So we have Pithing Needle. Just to go ahead and muck up some greedy fetch land mana bases. There's 2 or 3. Is there 3? Oh, and she did do this. Okay, so she added the Vexing Bauble. I see. Whenever a player casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. So this is good. Kind of like a Void Mirror feel to it. 1 tap, sacrifice the bauble, draw a card. 1, 2, 3. And then, oh, we do have creatures in the back. Okay, the Groundbreaker. Nice. 3, trample, haste. At end of turn, sacrifice Groundbreaker. 2. Very cool. So that is the deck. And you guys are going to see this thing. I'm going to probably do a couple, whatchamacallit, some gold fishing. That might be fun. I think we will. We'll do some gold fishing with this. So thanks for joining me, and I will be putting up another one soon.